be honest.
What's up? Jim,
Wait,
come
you
on
can
over.
sit in front of a mic.
Oh. All right, guys.
Hey, everybody.
Head coach Jim Turner, outside linebacker, defensive end Jalen Allen. Coach, you want to start with just an opening statement?
Yeah. This guy right here is probably one of the best players in our league. He's definitely the biggest hustler in our league. Nobody works harder. Nobody gives it up more than him. Nobody has better character than him that I know. He's an absolute man, and I appreciate his efforts this year. In the game, you know, we ran into a good football team today. We're not a great football team. And we play well in spurts. We play as individuals at times in terms of sometimes the offense is good, sometimes it's not. Our defense has been consistent all year. This game, they're a well-coached football team. They got a good team, and they did a good job. And it caught up with us today, right? So we tried many things, many ways to right the ship, and it didn't work. So we're at the point right now where it was time for that season to end, and we'll move forward from here, of course.
Jalen, before we open it up for questions, if you could just kind of give us your reaction on being the UFL Sportsman of the Year nominee for the Showboats.
It was amazing, man. Coach told me about it first, and I was just ecstatic. You know, I don't think I ever had an award like that, so it just felt good to know my efforts are being noticed. So, it felt good.
Great. Questions in the room?
Darren Randolph, WRG in Memphis. Seems like things kind of started out slow for you guys. You guys did eventually get a touchdown, I believe, in the second quarter. But in the second half, Birmingham just shut everything down.
Yeah.
What was the difference between the first half and the second half?
We just can't get into a rhythm on offense. It's just no rhythm, right? We just can't, you know, it never came together. You know, we came in with the new offense game 6 or game 5, and it just never came together. You know, we played all the different quarterbacks, so nobody got a ton of experience, and it just never came together. And so today, you know, when you come into the second half, we did a good job moving the ball down the field, went and scored a touchdown. That was nice in the first half, and then you come out in the second half, and they're moving the ball well, and then we get out there and we sputter, and we don't convert, and we got a punt. And then, you know, on our punt team, on our right side, we had 4 brand new guys in there on our punt team when we gave up the block punt. Not that that's an excuse, but it's a fact. So the bottom line is, you know, we played some different guys today. We played Rivers at safety, who hadn't played a snap all year long, and that affects you. You know, he did a good job, don't get me wrong, but it affects you. So there's all kinds of moving pieces in there, but we just never got in a rhythm. We couldn't get in a rhythm. We had that nice drive, like you said, but coming out in the second half, they stuffed us early, and we just never could get the quarterback in a rhythm. And they were all about rhythm, like they were in a rhythm the whole game. So it just shows you the difference.
Yeah, just coming off what Coach said, we were just hurting ourselves, you know. They was a good team. We were just more hurting ourselves.
And then just going off of that, what Coach was saying, they were moving that ball pretty well in the second half. Several methodical drives that took 6-7+ minutes off, especially in that third quarter drive. Jalen, just how were those drives, I guess, dawning or just, you know, waning on the defense of you guys just staying on the field so long?
Like I said earlier, it's just a lot of things that we did to ourselves. So they had a good team for sure, but it was just a lot of mistakes that we needed to correct. So a lot of new guys, a lot of new pieces, but it's nothing we can't get corrected.
Gotcha. And then my final question for both of you guys, just overall, what was this experience was like this year? Just some takeaways, both of you guys.
I would just say adversity, man. We just had a lot of adversity and just fighting over it and being a gritty team in general. So.
Yeah, I mean, you know, to me, every day to me is a challenge, right? So, I mean, I was happy I got the challenge that I got, and I appreciate Moose giving me a chance on the challenge. You know, it is what it is. I enjoyed the experience. I love being in charge of the whole team. I love getting to spend more time. Usually, I don't even know his name half the time when I'm on the team. You know what I mean? I coach the line, and I stay in my lane. But, now that they've made me the head coach this season, I appreciate that, and I love meeting all these guys, and that was my job. And I really did enjoy that part of it, It's hard to stand in front of them when you're not winning, and so you got to be creative. And so, I was creative with it, to keep it interesting this year. And I think that's important, In the end, though, it really comes down to the character of the guys you have in that room. And when you're coaching guys like him, if you just turn the tape on, it would be hard pressed. I would be hard pressed if you could tell me you found a clip on the tape where he stopped before the whistle was blown. It doesn't exist. And so when you're around guys like that, you love coaching. It's easy to coach, and that's half the battle. And as a recruiter or in the NFL draft, that's really where you make your money, is in those at that time. Bringing the right people in there. So I do appreciate that locker room down there a lot.
And I just want to say, coming off of what Coach said, we would die for Coach as well. Coach came in there with a passion and a fire that we didn't have in the beginning. No shade to nobody, but just having Coach there and having him give his passion and give his all, we can feel that, and we know how appreciative we are. Appreciative of the city of Memphis, too, as well, man. They came out to a lot of games. Some wasn't as good as others, but they came out supported. So I just want to say how much we love Memphis. You love Memphis, it'll love you back. So.
Got questions? Yeah. Go ahead.
James?
James, you can go ahead with your question.
Yeah, hey, Coach. Obviously not an ideal way to finish the season. The defense has played really good all year long, with today a struggle. Birmingham was 9 for 12 on third downs and 4 for 4 in the red zone. What do you think might have gone wrong on that end today?
Well, I think part of it is, you can analyze it all you want. At some point, you're playing for pride at some point. And that's kind of what, we were at today as the game went on. And we only scored 9 points. So you can't score. So the defense has been experiencing that. And it's hard. It's hard when you're a player. And it's hard when you're a coach to stand in front of them and tell them to hang in there. It's hard. And so at some point you have to have some success there on offense. And we just, like if you look at us throwing, we ran the ball well today. But we couldn't throw the ball. And you have to be able to throw the football in today's world. And so when you can't convert on these downs and you're punting the football, it's really hard on that defense. So I think, we played a couple of different guys in there on defense, and they did a good job. But in the end, the defense did a great job this year. I refuse to point the finger at them in any way, shape, or form. They did a great job.
And to follow up on that, speaking of the offense and not being able to throw the football, Dresser win a couple of pick sixes today, threw for 113 yards, just over 50% completion. What was kind of your evaluation of his play today, and what Birmingham did defensively to slow you guys down in that category?
Yeah, it's not a great day for him. He knows that, and I'm sure he's, eating his heart out a little bit right now. It's not an easy thing to have that happen, but at the same time, I never let him get in a rhythm either, okay? Because, he played in the Houston game. He did a good job in the Houston game because he won the Birmingham game, right? He won that game. Then we played the Houston game. He's going to win that game. And we give up the sack fumble, which wasn't his fault. And then it's a 14-point swing. We lose that game, which we shouldn't have lost. We played our asses off in that football game. We should have won that game, but we didn't. And so then he comes out after that, and we played Troy in the next one, and we played EJ in the next one. So to his point, he never really got in a full rhythm. If I had left him in there, would he have played better? He probably would have played better by now, okay? But at that point, we really weren't in a position to go to the playoffs, and I was going to let these guys get some tape so they could all have a shot to showcase himself a little bit. So that's on me. His performance today is probably more on me than anybody. So I'll eat that, James.
Good? All right, thank you guys, appreciate it.
Thank you guys. I appreciate you.
Thank you guys. Every year. Oh, yeah, appreciate it.